Morning.
Hi, guys.
This is Coffee Chats. I'm Karen. I'm the host, and I'm with my guest Gabby today.
Hi.
So today we're going to be talking about the Friends reunion. So Gabby, do you have any thoughts about?
Okay, well, before we get into it, can we recall how it ended? Because I was a big Friends fan for a while, but I don't really remember how it ended, if I'm being honest.
So basically, sorry if this is a spoiler for anyone, but it's been a while, so you should have watched Friends right now. But so Monica and Chandler adopted triplets. They didn't know they were having triplets, but then they ended up figuring that out when they were born. Rachel and Ross are together. She got off the plane.
They didn't really get married, though, right?
No, they never got married.
Okay.
And then Joey, single. I mean, I feel like everyone expected that. That's very that's his brand. And then who else? Phoebe is with Mike still. They're married.
Okay. I like that for them.
Yeah. And then Monica and Chandler were moving out of the city.
Okay.
And that was the end. And that was like the big
I feel like I wasn't satisfied. I remember watching it and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. I guess it's like I was satisfied just because I think I was so attached to the show, but I can see why people weren't, just because
I wanted more of a closure with them actually seeing them getting married and
yeah, definitely.
Like Ross and what's her name?
Rachel.
I literally sound like such a fake fan. I promise I watched the show. The first time I watched it from the beginning to the end, and the second time I watched it from the end to the beginning. Not sure why, but
I mean,
I'm tangled in the wires right now.
Well, I don't think we're going to figure out how it would end if they got married or not, because the reunion episode is actually just going to be the 6 of them talking to each other, and it's like an unscripted.
So it's just them just hanging out.
Yeah, just hanging out, talking about the show. I guess like an actual reunion.
I thought it was going to be more episodes.
Yeah, me too. But honestly, I think with a show like that, it's really hard to make another good season, just because everyone wants the show to probably go in different directions.
Yeah, true.
People want to see different things, and they want it to be like how it was, whatever, 25 years ago. But it's just not. Like, they're older. They don't look the same.
Yeah. I feel like it's also because it's like a sitcom type of.
Yeah.
It's hard to just make some more random ones. Yeah.
And I feel like if they put in modern jokes, everyone, it would just be probably a little cringy and
No, I agree.
I mean, honestly, I feel like if they did modern episodes, if they were actually doing a new season, Joey could be a YouTube star.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just feel like that would be funny.
No, I agree, though.
Sorry, let me turn this way so I can look at the people.
We need to see our beautiful host.
So, actually, the way that you can watch the show is on HBO Max, and it's them premiering. That's how they're coming out.
Okay.
With the Friends reunion episode, and then
it's just one episode. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. But then all of the Friends seasons are going to be put on HBO Max. And I think that's coming out in May. So
soon.
Honestly, if you have Netflix, I would probably switch to HBO because honestly,
HBO.
I guess it's different from HBO Go, which is annoying. Yeah, because I know my family has HBO Go, but I guess that it'll have to.
We have everything but that.
Yeah,
get on that. Disney Plus we have.
Yeah, Disney Plus is good.
Netflix and Hulu. I don't really use Hulu though, so.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of. There's too many.
It's too many to keep track.
It's going to get to a point where, no one's... You're going to have to buy,
everything.
10 streaming services, and no one's going to watch,
Yeah,
cable.
because Disney had, all their stuff on Netflix for a while, and now they're, But that's smart. They're obviously making more money that way.
Yeah, every, network is going to be making so much money from it, just because it's, the new wave of everything.
Yeah.
But, so, why do you think people love reunion episodes so much?
Oh, we can get into that. I don't know. I feel like you fall in love with these characters. So even if you like how a show ended, you want more of it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just want to see them now. You actually start to believe, not literally, but you start to believe that maybe those actors are the characters themselves. Yeah. So it's I want to see them now that they're older.
Yeah. That's so true. I mean, I remember when. So I watched Gilmore Girls.
I was just going to say that.
When they had their revival season. And honestly, I couldn't. It was hard for me to watch because I wanted to see Lorelai Gilmore, like, as her, like, younger self still, even though, like, she was a mom in the show, but she was a young mom.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that, I don't know, it was weird. And, like, Luke was just so old, which sounds so mean, but,
no,
like,
I agree. We can talk about that, too. I don't know if there's any Gilmore Girls fans out
but
there.
But if you are Gilmore Girls fans, then I feel like you can relate to us.
Yes. We got some Gilmore Girls fans.
But I didn't like how they portrayed Rory at all in the revival.
She was like, not that she was just like truly just innocent throughout all of the seasons, but like that was part of her shtick.
She was.
Like there was times when she was like go outside of the box a little bit and like just rebel a tiny bit, but like that was her character. Yeah. And I feel like they totally did like a 180.
They made her in like too much of a businesswoman.
Yeah.
Like I remember this scene. It's probably because I'm rewatching it right now that I'm remembering this, but it was when she just got into Chilton and she was in like the headmaster's office and he like was asking her like what she wanted to do when she was older, and she said she wanted to be like this certain reporter, and like I guess like he didn't really like her, and she was like, it's because I want to travel the world and like report things that are important. And I think that like maybe they tried to portray that in the revival, but it just seemed too much of like a cold businesswoman rather than like her being herself.
And her relationships with like all the original characters were kind of twisted now. Like, I mean, obviously when you're older, they're not going to be as innocent. Like she's not going to be innocent forever.
But it was like somewhat figured out.
Yeah, her life seemed like worse later on.
Yeah, because she had that boyfriend that like, do you remember him?
Logan?
No, there is another boyfriend in the revival, and they were like, "Oh, he's still here," and not
one of the originals.
No,
I don't remember that.
Which was so annoying because no one wants to see that. They like, I guess they were trying to make like a funny like, character in the mix, but like, and everyone just wants to see original funny characters. And like,
did you have a favorite?
Logan.
Okay.
I love Logan.
See, let me talk a little bit about. Okay, originally, the first time I watched the show, I did not like Dean. I thought he was a weirdo.
Yeah, I hate Dean.
And then I saw Jess, and I was like, I know Jess's character. Like, he's supposed to be such a jerk.
Yeah.
But I was like, I kind of like him. And then Logan came around, and I was like, I like him even more. I thought the spoiler again, but I thought the ending was weird when Logan was literally like, if you don't marry me, I'm gonna leave. Like,
yeah, I know. I like it.
Especially because they had been dating when he was like, London, and she was like in the US.
Yeah.
And now he was gonna move to like California, US, and he was just like, absolutely not. Like,
yeah, like,
I don't know.
Like, she just graduated college.
Yeah, true.
Like,
it was literally like an ultimatum. It was weird.
But I also like I guess that's part of like Rory's character to be like, no, like I don't do that.
Yeah. I get
which I was a little annoyed about because I was like,
please marry him.
Because then they ended up being together in the revival.
But like it wasn't as wholesome.
No, it was not at all.
It wasn't.
It was really annoying. But
yeah, I was like, so I was a little torn. And then I watched it a second time. I've watched Gilmore Girls 3 times. The second time I watched it, hardcore Jess, like that was it. And then third time I watched it, it's like this revelation. I was like, Dean is the most normal, like nicest of the 3. I know.
He's crazy. He likes
not crazy.
Yes, he is. The things that he did.
I mean, I just feel like he's just like an average neighborhood boy, like nice,
he's
works
boring.
at a local little like grocery store as a cashier. Maybe that's because that's what I do.
He's too safe.
Yeah, so I relate.
Gabby works at a grocery store.
Or a market. So I am Dean.
She sees herself.
I see myself as Dean. So I don't know. I feel like realistically, if I was her, like I would want Dean, because the other two, like realistically, I would never want Jess. Like that's not my vibe.
Yeah, no, Jess is too unpredictable. I did the first time I watched it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like head over heels for Jess.
So was I.
He was just so cute.
Boy.
His hair, like I just loved all of it. But then I watched it the second time, and it was like I was like torn between Logan and Jess, and then literally the third time, I was all Logan.
But see, like I feel like they're all kind of jerks except Dean.
But it's not like Rory was ever like, she also like couldn't figure stuff out either.
True.
Like
she's like still couldn't. Like if you watch the revival, it's called Seasons, right?
Yeah, like they do like the winter, fall, summer.
They're like an hour episode or an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, I don't
did
know.
not like it. It just made me like unsettled. Like literally, I feel like I had some good closure
Yeah.
at the end of the series, so I didn't need like a revival for closure. I just wanted a revival for fun, and I was like, oh no, it like shook me up more.
But then there was the cliffhanger with sorry, this is another spoiler, but you should expect that.
We're just a spoiler show here.
With Rory and her pregnancy.
Yeah.
I think it's Logan's.
I read this article and it was saying, I read this article claiming that it has to be Jess because it was like trying to do like some full circle thing where like basically how Lorelai was like pregnant when she was young, and it was like with that type of bad boy vibe, like Christopher, whatever.
Yeah, but Logan's more of a Christopher vibe because Logan was,
like the rich.
The Huntsburgers, like.
That is true.
And like went to Chilton.
I feel like it's maybe Dean. It's all of them.
Dean is awful. Dean's out of the equation. I'd be so angry.
The show, or if you already have, you probably know. Like Dean is the nicest. Like except there was that little weird spell. Like they're all like such flawed characters.
Yeah, when Dean got married, I thought that was so weird.
He was like getting married.
He was literally like what, 18?
He was still in love with Laurel. I'm not Lorelai. Rory.
Well, her name is Lorelai,
but
Rory, and like. It was just so weird. And Lindsay was just an annoying character. That was Dean's wife.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, she was so irrelevant.
If you guys didn't watch it, you're probably like, what are they saying? Like, exactly. Like, you should note that. How crazy this is. You can't even follow this conversation. You should watch it.
Yeah, it's so good. There's so many love stories. Even with Lorelai. Like,
yeah, true.
I hated when she was ever with Christopher.
I thought he was like, I don't know. I liked how they had like their past, but I was a Luke fan.
Stay in the past. I was a big Luke fan. Which is why I think I was turned off by Jess, because I wouldn't want Rory ending up with Jess, and then
he liked Dean, right? Luke.
He did it in the beginning.
Luke was like very protective over Rory, not her father, but just like
he was a father figure for her, because Christopher, who is her dad, and like. He really wasn't there in the beginning at all, and then all of a sudden he just started coming around once he had like money, and I don't know. I didn't seem like I get he wanted a relationship, but it didn't seem as genuine.
Yeah.
As like Luke genuinely always looking out for her, and like he was literally there for everything for Rory.
I was never like mad at him though. I was never like, oh, I hate Christopher. Like you can't.
Yeah.
I think that's what they did on purpose though. You can't like dislike him. But also, like,
because they were teenagers.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were 16.
Yeah. It's, like, hard to root for him, though, because, like, he is still, like, that was his whole, like, issue. Like, Lorelai was like, I would want you if you would, like, grow up, because,
yeah. He's and he was, again, too unpredictable. Yeah. Like, not stable.
Like, you never really knew where he was, like, literally and figuratively. So.
But then, all of a sudden, remember he married that girl? I forget her name.
Oh, I don't know her
name.
And
then, but they had, like, their daughter, Gigi. And then the wife ended up leaving Christopher and like moving to France. Again, I didn't like this part of the show because I just thought it was
some weird spells.
It was weird because it's not like we don't care about them.
Yeah, true.
Honestly, like we didn't care about.
I think it was because like it was at that point, like right before he got her pregnant. He was like about to be with Lorelai.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like we were like rooting, like finally, at least not so much.
It was at the
Christopher.
It was at someone's wedding.
I know.
Oh, it was at Emily and Richard's like I think because they were.
Oh, they're separated.
Yeah, they separated for like a good few months.
Rory's grandparents.
Yeah, and then they finally like made up or whatever. I don't even remember what they fought about. Honestly. I think it was something having to do with Luke and Lorelai.
I don't know.
Not sure though, but
yeah. But this family, it's making them seem like they're like so flawed, but like you root for every character. Like,
yeah,
they are good.
You
people.
fall in love like with everyone. Lorelai Gilmore is probably the most relatable character in some senses. Like
they're
she's
also
again
quirky too. Like
she's obsessed with coffee, which is a big thing for the show.
A big thing.
Yeah.
Coffee chat.
But it was just really, I don't know.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know. I liked watching it, like, because you never really knew what you were gonna get. The characters were just so nice. It was just like it was a quaint little town. Like everyone knew each other. Yeah. That was the whole thing. Like just the whole vibe.
I guess that's like the same with Friends though. Just because you fall in love with every character, And I read an article that when people guest starred on Friends, that they felt like that they were like not included. Like
really?
the six of
They were
them
so close?
were just so close. Like you weren't allowed to eat lunch with. Like it was like the unspoken rule that you weren't welcomed at lunch with them. Like stars have literally said that, but you can't even blame them because they did this show for 9 years or something.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And they get to know each other so well, and they're like they know each other's personal life so well during that time. Because I know Matthew Perry, who played Chandler, he was like in and out of rehab.
Oh wow!
Which like
Wait,
you saw his
I knew that actually.
His like weight fluctuating.
Yes, I did know that.
So and like you could just tell he got visibly just very like old, and every other character was aging fine because I mean you don't start to age like that much when you're in your 30s. Yeah. But you just fall in love with everyone. Do you like how the couples ended out in Friends?
I think so, because like Ross and Rachel, like they had to like get together. Monica and Chandler were, I feel like, pretty steady throughout.
Yeah, they were like the stable relationship, and I just think it was funny how they started together. Yeah, like Ross's wedding. With Emily.
Like those are the only two couples I really cared the most about. I loved Phoebe as a character, but I never like her relationships. I just never like.
I love Mike though. I think because I really like Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
but Phoebe makes me laugh so much. Her and Joey.
She's just so funny. Her song "Smelly Cat." Yeah, I hope you know that. Like I really do. It's so catchy.
It's so funny. I mean, I think there was a point in time where Joey and Rachel were together, and at first I like really liked it. I think because I just like both characters.
I didn't.
But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, this is weird. And also on the show, I think I watched this. They came out with like a documentary or something, or they did like an episode. I forget what network it was on, but it was just a bunch of like super fans and also people who worked on the show were talking about it, and so they were saying how everyone was really mad when Joey and Rachel were together because it felt like because it was kind of like a brother and sister relationship on the show turned into like a romantic one, and they literally were like, this is weird.
Yeah, I agree. It was weird. And like I feel like it's weird too with Ross. Like you just don't do that to your friend.
No, you don't. Even
and then like especially when they got like Ross and Rachel got back together, like I know they like made it seem like it wasn't a big deal, but like that in real life, like that would be so awkward.
So awkward.
Like, your best friend starts dating your ex, and then you break up, and then the best friend like gets back with her. Like that's just very odd.
Such a weird love triangle.
Yeah,
they were all really mad about it. Not necessarily just because Rachel was ending up with someone else.
Monica and Chandler hid the relationship too in the beginning.
Yeah.
But did Ross and Rachel?
They hid it from Ross, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember how that played out.
Wait, is that the episode? Okay, this might be a different episode that I'm thinking. Oh, this might be about Monica and Chandler, but I remember loving this episode. It was like the one where they know that we know that something.
Yeah, that's Monica and Chandler. That was so funny. I really like that. But the one with Rachel and Joey was when they were on like vacation or whatever, because Ross, it was like one of those like dinosaur things. Okay. But he was like a guest speaker, and he was originally with that girl Charlie. Joey was with Charlie. She was like he was like a guest speaker, and he was originally with that girl Charlie. Joey was with Charlie. She was like
like the real life character, like in real life thought that he was a character.
I forget who
she was like Dr. Draco Ramore.
Yeah, I forget who. I think that might have been.
She was like famous.
Yeah, I can like picture her face in my head, but I don't remember. Have you ever?
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but that was a funny episode.
But it was a lot of love triangles going on.
Yeah, I just didn't like it when it was within the group.
Yeah,
if it was like Joey and Ross with that girl Charlie, which she's an outsider, so it's fun.
But Monica and Chandler, I found acceptable. I liked them.
Well, yeah, because I feel like
they never like bounced around.
If you watch in like the earlier from
no,
like
they didn't like
they never because Monica's brother is Ross, and
she didn't go for Joey.
Yeah, she would never go for Joey. But that was if you watch in earlier seasons, because when like I was rewatching it, but you can kind of see that they almost foreshadow them getting together.
Mhm.
Like her and Chandler have like little moments.
Yeah.
Like there was one time, I think it was after her breakup with Richard, or maybe it was before she even had like a relationship, and Chandler was like just kind of like hugging her and consoling her, like saying how like
that
people who were
relationship
crazy.
I didn't really like either.
I love Richard.
You know, he's like her father's. Monica's like what at this time, maybe like 30 or something. Like
Yeah.
that. And she's dating her father's like best friend.
Yeah,
like very,
it was weird because it like was her father's best friend.
Yeah, that was weird. She would go to him for like eye doctor appointments. Like her dad like knows this guy, and then they started dating.
I think it's more weird on Richard's end because like you watched her like grow
like,
up.
I remember when you were in diapers. Like,
yeah,
that is
like
weird.
that's weird. I wouldn't. I don't
weird.
think I could date someone who remembers me in a diaper.
No,
because
no. But she's like, oh, so endearing. Like, no,
yeah,
that was weird.
It's definitely more weird on his end.
Yeah, but.
Because like
I don't know. I keep forgetting all these relationships the more we talk about it.
I know.
Remember, was it Rachel or Monica? I think it was Rachel that was with that man from Italy or something.
Paolo. Yeah.
I didn't remember.
I didn't like him. He was annoying.
And then Ross would get very mad about it.
Yeah, I think it was because he didn't speak English.
Were they on a break?
Yeah. Nah, it was not acceptable for him to.
I agree.
It was okay. You could be on a break. It was not even a day.
Yeah, so they broke up basically, and then they were like, Rachel was like, "We need to take a break." Like, but then the next day, Ross is like with another girl, and she like finds out.
It was that night.
Oh wow.
He got like super drunk. Sorry, and then he was then ended up with another girl at the end of the night, and Rachel like left him a voicemail that he read the next morning. And it was basically like, I'm sorry, like that was a mistake. I just needed like
some space.
Like it was irrational thinking. He was also like planning her life out, which is like really scary, honestly. And so then she came over the next morning, and the girl that he had over was still there, and he like hid her, and like
that is so bad. Like I understand like that, and so that was like basically the whole thing like throughout the series. Like were they on a break? Were they not? Like was it acceptable and everything?
Yeah.
And like yes, I agree that like you were on a break. So like technically I guess like if you want to justify that, but also like you're like really in love with this girl and it's just like the same night and it's just like
not even 24 hours later. Like
yeah, like maybe if you were like if that break ended up being like a long time and you realize like okay, like we're on a break, we're not really like talking together, but like that was so soon. And also like I feel like she probably didn't mean it as if like, oh, let's like break up, like we're broken up, like just like we just need some space right now.
They had a fight. That was basically it.
Yeah.
I don't really remember them fighting.
If she hadn't said the word break, like if they were just like, I need some space right now, and then just left. Like,
but
yeah,
he took it as a break. And also Ross was just never good with relationships. He doesn't have the greatest track record.
That's the thing, like
of being married 3 times.
My whole family, like I loved watching Friends, like. And my whole family was like, oh, I hated that show. Like, I never really liked it. And they're all like saying that they're just like, they're so immature. Like, they're like 30 something or just older, like in the city, like, and they're not really growing up. And I guess like that's why they were just like, oh, it's like, I hate watching it. But I loved it. I thought it was so funny. But when you like think about it, like, it's kind of true. Like, some of their just like characteristics, like they're so it's like childish. They're in high school, basically.
Yeah, it is. But I think that comes in with the fact that they were friends in high school and in college.
Yeah.
So honestly, like I think that, and like I honestly think that the ending seasons were them growing up. So that was like, I guess the progression. Because like when Rachel started, she was just left the altar with Barry, who is another one.
Basically, she lived her whole life like by her dad's money, all this. Like she had never like lived on her own. And,
it was like everything was bought on daddy's credit card, anything she wanted. And then she just came to Monica, and which honestly I was confused about their friendship in the past because she was saying, oh, like that's Rachel, I went to high school with her. But then it was when they like did the flashbacks when I was like Pat Monica, which was really funny. But they like in some of them they were best friends, but then in other ones they weren't as close, and like Rachel was the cool girl and like Monica wasn't.
I loved the flashbacks.
They were so funny. With Rachel's nose before the nose job. Like
all this. You see Ross, like his mustache, like in love with Rachel from the start. She doesn't even notice him at all. Like
the prom episode.
So sad.
That was when they got together, right? The first time they got together was after they watched that video.
Oh, watching the video. Yeah, I thought you meant back then. I was like, no. Like,
no, that was when, if you didn't watch, when Ross, Rachel's prom date, like, stood her up. And, well, she thought that he did. They couldn't find him or whatever, which is weird. But then Ross's dad was like, oh my gosh, like, you should take her. Like, I have a suit that you can wear and everything. Sad. Like, and then he comes downstairs ready to flowers, be like, ready to be like, I can take you. And then he's at the top of the stairs and they're walking out the door with their dates, like, all giggly and stuff. It was the saddest thing. And they were still, like, his parents were still filming it.
And then, when they watched it back, Rachel was like, oh my God.
Yeah, like, and Ross, like, in the beginning was like, no, let's turn it off now. Like, let's not watch it.
Aww.
And then once she saw that he did that, she, like, turned around and then they kissed. It was so
like, there's
cute.
some moments like that are just so, like, you just root for them. And it's like, they do feel, like, more mature and, like, I don't know. So, like, there's glimpses of it, but you just have to watch for those moments. Because, like, we're also making it seem so deep. Like, basically, like, the episodes are just fun, too. Like,
yeah, it is.
It's just an escape.
You could throw it on in the background.
Minutes, like,
do whatever you want. Do while you're doing homework or anything. And it's just such a feel-good show. I know anytime I watch it, I'm going to be happier after I do.
It's not something, like, it's not heavy at all. Like,
no.
And that's what I liked watching, like, I don't know. I feel like if I'm watching, like, a dramatic show or something, like, I have to, like, sit down and get into it. Yeah.
With 13 Reasons Why, if anyone's watched that,
I didn't watch it, no.
I watched the first season, and there were just some parts where it was too much for me. And
it's heavy. It definitely was.
I had to turn it off. My friends could watch it in, 2 days, and it literally took me probably a month. There were 13 episodes. It would take me a month because I needed to just, like, step away from it. And that was when I would step away and I'd probably turn on Friends or, like, The Office. But
no, my high school, like, sent out emails about 13 Reasons Why, to the parents, like, basically, like, like, this popular show's out, like, if your kids are watching it, you know, maybe you should talk with them about it, because, like, it was just so heavy.
My sister, she's a guidance counselor, so when that came out,
it's probably triggering too.
She was nervous because also the show, I know there's a lot of different issues, but I think one of the parts, a lot of guidance counselors felt that it made the guidance counselors look bad and, like, they weren't there to help you.
Oh, that's not good.
With some parts, which I get, not every guidance counselor, I guess, is
no one's perfect. Not everyone's amazing, but
a lot of them do help, and I think they didn't show as much of that. So even she was like, I don't want my kids to watch this and think that that's going to happen the same way. Which I understand it was an important message to share, but it's just certain things.
There were some things that needed to be addressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for, like, younger students. Like, people were there were girls who were really young watching it,
like middle schoolers.
So I don't know if they couldn't, like, detach some of the, I don't know, things in the show to what, like, reality actually is. Sometimes, like, it could be tricky.
That's when you put on Friends.
When you put on Friends
or Gilmore Girls.
Yeah,
if you haven't watched Gilmore Girls, I really recommend.
I really do,
especially because you won't have to wait for a reunion season. And you can watch it there.
But here's the thing. I say to people who are like, oh, like, you love Gilmore Girls, should I watch it? I say yes, and I say don't watch the reunion. I was not a fan.
I'd say, so I watched it because I watched Gilmore Girls when I was growing up because my mom loved it. She always watched it. My older sister would watch it with her, and that was, like, a really good show. Like, even all my aunts, like, all my cousins, like, everyone watched it. So when I started watching it in order, just because I knew episodes, but I didn't actually know what happened. Like, I knew that there was Dean, Jess, and Logan, but I didn't know anything about them. So they watched it for, like, nostalgia reasons, like, as everyone does if you watch a show, like, as it's on TV. But I know my mom, I think she enjoyed it. I think this was when because I wasn't finished with it by when the reunion came out, but when they were all watching it, everyone was really excited about it, and obviously it was never going to be as good as the show. It's never as good as the show.
My friend and I made a weekend of it. We were like, all right, let's get all our snacks, like, let's just watch this, and we were both like, oh, okay, like, I don't know. I guess, like, maybe watch it, see what your own opinions are, so you can come back and rewatch
Yeah.
this and see if you agree.
Yeah, and I feel like just another part in that reunion that Lorelai just seemed angry a lot of the time, and not like her funny
Well, I
self.
mean, if she's seeing her daughter like living
Yeah.
like a life that's like not happy for her,
Yeah.
and like I don't know,
But
yeah, there's a lot to unpack. We could talk about this
Yeah.
literally all day.
I recommend what you should take away from this episode: Friends reunion coming out in May, HBO Max.
Watch Friends before if you haven't.
Yeah, because if you get HBO Max, you're gonna get the full seasons of Friends.
Wait, so is it not? Friends isn't on Netflix anymore at all?
No, it's been taken off for a while.
Wow, I'm really behind. I literally started this episode. I was like, who's Ross's like girlfriend?
Yeah.
I promise I watched this.
It's just been a while.
Mhm.
But yeah, so Friends is coming out in May. The unscripted reunion episode should be really fun to watch. I'm really excited for it.
Yes.
Watch Gilmore Girls.
Watch the reunion actually. See how you feel.
Yeah,
see if you agree with me
yeah.
or not.
I don't yeah. Watch the reunion.
We won't tell you anything more. Although we've already spoiled like basically everything, but that's okay.
But I mean, there's still a lot of surprise. And you probably didn't understand a lot of it.
And exactly. You'll probably forget this. And you also need to like form your own connections with the characters. See who you like the best.
Exactly. All right, Gabby, thank you for coming on the show. Yeah, this was the first show, so I think it went kind of well.
Yeah. Let us know, guys.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. See you next week.
We're gonna figure out